But the saddest of it all, I can never more return.
I can never more return
To that happy childhood home.
to the happy childhood home. Matters not how much you yearn, matters not how much you yearn.
If I only had my way,
If I only had my way,
it would give my heart a thrill,
it would give my heart a thrill.
just to simply wander by,
Just to simply wander back
to the cabin on the hill,
to the cabin on the hill.
Oh, I want to wander
Oh,
by,
I want to wander back
to the cabin on the hill,
to the cabin on the hill.
neath the shadow of the tree.
Beneath the shadow of the tree,
I would like to linger still,
I would like to linger still.
just to be with those I love,
Just to be with those I love.
joy my heart would overfill,
Joy my heart would overfill.
and I want to wander by,
And I want to wander back
to the cabin
on the hill, to the cabin on the
hill. You're my flower. Thank you very much. Especially hope the folks asked for that one enjoyed it. Here's a little number that's been going real good for several months on a Columbia record. It's one of the real old ones too. I'm sure you'll remember this one, entitled "You Are My Flower." Here's a little number we'd like to do for you. It was real good to us last year. We didn't know where we was going to like it too well or not when we first recorded it. After it sold a few 100,000, we learned to just love it. So maybe you'll recognize this little sound. Listen to my story about a man named Jed. Poor mountaineer, barely kept his family fed. Then one day he was shooting at some food. Up through the ground come a bubbling crude. Oil, that is, black gold, Texas tea. First thing you know, Jed's a millionaire. Ken folks said, Jed, move away from her. Instead, California is the place you ought to be. So they loaded up the truck and they moved to Beverly Hills, that is. Swimming pools, movie stars. Let's dance a little, Granny. What do you say? Say goodbye to Jed and all his kin. They would like to thank you folks for kindly dropping in. Won't invite you back again to this locality to have a heaping helping of their hospitality. Beverly Hillbillies, that's what they call them now. Nice folks. Y'all come back, yeah? Much obliged. Thank you. When summertime is gone, snow begins to fall. You can sing the song and say to one and all, you are my flower that's blooming in the mountains so high. You are Uncle John. Here, Jake, lay this over. Thank you very much. You know, we was telling you a while ago that we did have some coupons along with us that's good for some of this good Martha White free overture grocery. I believe we have some Martha White salesmen visiting with us tonight. If they'll come up here, we'd like for them to kind of pass these around to you good neighbors. We did have 2 or 3 a while ago over on that side. Hey, Tut, you're a good Martha White salesman. Come on over here.
You're the best I've ever seen.
Neighbors, if you haven't tried this good Martha White, we do hope you'll give it a try the next time you're down at the store. You'll find it to be just a little bit different from anything else on the market today. Has that wonderful baking miracle, hot rise.
Well, that a lot of you came to see, I'm sure. These fellows have been with the Grand Ole Opry a long time. They've been on the Beverly Hillbillies show. We're speaking of none other than Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs. Let's give them a big Macon, Georgia welcome.
Thanks a lot to you, neighbors, and howdy. Let us say it's real good to be down this way to take a part in the program. We hope you're ready to kind of join in with us for a little bit of fun as we go along. First, we would like to take just a minute to point out the fellows to you in case you never had a chance to meet them. Fellow on the left-hand side with the old 5-string is a North Carolina boy, one of the banjo-playingest fellows in the country, my partner, Earl Scruggs. How about a nice hand for Earl? He'll answer for Pearl, too, if you want to call him that. The next fellow with the little fiddle is what we think one of the best old-time fiddlers in the business. Fine young and fiddling Paul Warren. Nice hand for Paul. This one here represents Knoxville, Tennessee. You can look at that and see that they can raise whatever they want to over around Knoxville. Cousin Jake, how about a nice hand for Jake? His partner's a real good fella. Of course, that's not a pump handle now. You can turn it loose and ease on back. He's kind of got the advantage of the rest of us. He don't have to pick and sing like we do for a living. His mom and papa's both well off. Come to think of it, he's a little bit off himself. Uncle Josh, how about a nice hand for Josh?
Now I'd like to introduce to you the fellow doing the talking here tonight for the Foggy Mountain Boys, a fine feller and a wonderful singer. Let's make welcome Mr. Lester Flatt, right over here. What do you say? Give him.
I stand on the corner with a low-down blues, a great big hole in the bottom of his shoe.
And let it be your song.
Oh, let me be your
Song dog, I will be your man at all. And let it be your song dog.
Now look here, Sal, I know you run down stocking a wild shoe.
And let it be your song dog.
Oh, let me be your
Song dog, I will be your man at all. And let it be your song dog.
I was down the wildwood sitting on a log, finger on trigger and eye on the hole.
And let it be your song dog.
Oh, let me be your
Song dog, I will be your man at all. And let it be your song dog.
trigger and the gun said go. Shot fell over in Mexico.
I'd let it be your song. Oh, if it be your song, no, but I won't be your man at all. I'd let it be your song.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate the nice applause. We'd like to mention a little bit later on in our part of the program, we have a lot of coupons along with us. That's good for some of that good Martha White free Overture Grocer we'll be passing out to you a little bit later on. Let's listen to Earl Scruggs now do a little request number on the old 5, where he does a little tune and a whole lot of picking. Earl, if you're ready. Thank you so much. We'd like to do our latest Columbia record for you. If you've been hearing the record down this way, you probably noticed that we have a couple of girl singers that takes a little part in the record. And looking all around, I believe that's about the closest thing to a girl we have along with us tonight. So I guess we're going to have to settle for that. Come and ride the little train that is rolling down the tracks to the junction. Forget about your cares, it is time to relax at the junction. Lots of cares you bet, even more when you get to the junction.
Petticoat Junction.
Shady Rest at the junction.
Petticoat Junction.
It's run by Kate. Come and be her guest at the junction.
Petticoat Junction.
And that's Uncle Joe. He's moving kind of slow at the junction.
Petticoat Junction.
When you hear the dinner bell from the Shady Rest Hotel at the junction, folks will walk a country mile for the chicken country style at the junction. Not the dishes to observe, all those pretty girls to serve. That's the junction.
Petticoat Junction.
Petticoat Junction. Thank you very much. Jake sounds a little bit like the girls, but he sure don't favor them, I'll tell you that. We're gonna call Uncle Josh around to do a little number that a lot of the folks seem to enjoy all across the country. This one's called A Maiden's Prayer, Josh. If you're ready. Like the summertime, and they can walk about, strolling through the meadow green, it's pleasant right. But give me the winter time when the snow's on the ground, the snow's on the ground. I traced a little footprints in the snow. I found a little footprints in the snow. That's that happy day when Nellie lost her way. I found her when the snow's on the ground. One night I went to see her, there was a big round moon. Mother said she just stepped out, she'd be returning soon. Found her little footprints, and I traced them through the snow, and I found her when the snow's on the ground. I traced her little footprints in the snow. I found her little footprints in the snow. That's that happy day when Nellie lost her way. I found her when the snow's on the ground. bring back memories. I found her with the snows on the ground. I traced her little footprints in the snow. I found her little footprints in the snow. That's that happy day when Nellie lost her way. I found her with the snows on the ground. Thank you. Thank you so much. One of the old favorites there that we promised some of the folks we'd especially do for them. Josh,
What is it?
come and stand right here now. We're going to pick a little tune.
Earl, we're going to pick a little tune.
Oh, don't get excited,
What'd you say, Jake?
Told him not to get excited. He's been to Georgia before.
Listen, I tell you what to do now. Tell you what you do. You want to stand right here. Everybody's going to do a little picking on this.
Everyone.
Even I'm going to pick a little hot guitar.
No kidding.
But you get the first break.
Earl, I get the first one.
It won't be your first one. Now, Jimmy Martin gave you one, and Esco Hankins. But what I want you to do is move in and get your break and then rush back out of the way because Sky King may be coming in from this side, you feel.
In other words, Lester, when it comes my time, just come in and get it and then get out.
That's right.
All right. Get it, George. Lester, there you are. Got him done. I'm ready. Ready? Get it. Did you say that? Right.
You have to be next.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. A couple of our little buddies come back to stage a while ago and especially asked for this one here. This is one we recorded several months ago, and this is the only one we've ever been able to get Earl to take a little solo part in singing. I always thought it's because he liked the old gal he's singing about so well. He kind of took Pearl away from me the first trip we made out to Hollywood to do a movie with the Beverly Hillbillies. Of course, I didn't mind too much because me and Granny wasn't doing bad, I'll tell you that.
Pearl, 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 come let's see our girl. Are you still her Valentine? Do you still look so divine? Come and let us see your darling Pearl.
Pearl, 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 don't give your love to her. I've got a horse and mule, 40 acres near a school. We'll be happy as two bulls.
Pearl, 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 come be my loving girl. Don't you marry Lester Flat. He slicks his hair with possum fat. Change her name to Mrs. Earl Scruggs.
Pearl, 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 come let us see our girl. Are you still her Valentine? Do you still look so divine? Come and let us see your darling Pearl.
Pearl, 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 you get no love from her. This your man is such a sap. He won't hold you on his lap unless you are an old five-string banjo.
Pearl, 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 he's nutty as a squirrel. If you'll be Mrs. Scruggs. We will live on kisses and hugs like Juliet and Romeo.
Pearl, 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 come let us see our girl. Are you still her Valentine? Do you still look so divine? Come and let us see your darling Pearl.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. What in the world's the matter with you?
I don't know. I can't read.
Any of you neighbors think you can use that one, we'd be happy to leave him with you tonight after the show. He's talking about Pearl a while ago. Earl was real disappointed this last time we went out there and worked with them because Pearl's not there, of course, now. She's over doing the Petticoat Junction, and Earl had to settle for Jane Hathaway. But I think they got along pretty good, though. I tell you what, Jake, if you will, pick us a little tune with Earl all be yourself.
I will.
You do that? Good.
One hand. No hand.
Thank you so much, Earl Scruggs. That's what I call five-string banjo picking in the finest kind of way right there. Oh, yeah, you was playing too, wasn't you?
What do you mean I wasn't playing?
Now, there you go. Talking hateful to me already. Act like you're mad at the world.
I ain't acting. I am mad, Josh.
Well, you mad at these people?
No, I ain't mad at these people.
Are you mad at me?
No, I ain't mad at you either.
Well, what seems to be your trouble?
Well, you see, Joshua built me a new house.
And you mad about that?
Well, you know how... You know how stingy I am, don't you?
Well, I've heard about that.
Yeah, I went down there and I figured out how much it's going to take me to build that house. I didn't want nothing left over.
Nothing left over.
I figured out exactly how many 2x4s it was going to take. I didn't want no 2x4s left over.
No 2x4s left over.
And I figured out exactly how many nails it was going to take. I didn't want no nails left over.
No nails left over.
And I figured out just exactly how many bricks it was going to take. I didn't want no bricks left over.
No bricks left over.
And I went down there after that house was built, and laying there on the ground, Josh, there laid a big old red brick.
Just one?
One big old red brick, and that made me so mad, I throwed that big old red brick right straight up in the air. Forget it.
Just one brick left over and you throwed it up in there.
I kind of thought it funny myself.
See nothing funny about that?
You know, well, that's all right. Don't laugh, and I ain't supposed to be here anyhow.
What do you mean you ain't supposed to be here?
Just what I said. I was in California this morning, and I didn't think I was going to make it up here for the showtime.
I'll go along with you throwing that brick up in there, but you get up here and start lying, that's a different
Who's
story.
a lie?
You said you was in California this morning.
I was in Los Angeles this morning at 7 o'clock.
How could you got here that quick?
I rode one of them fast jet airplanes.
Oh, a jet airplane.
Yeah, it was one of them U-top. It wasn't one of them kind of goes, meow. Wasn't one of them.
Well, what kind was it?
It's one of them U kind of goes, whoosh.
No.
One of them U kind.
Guess you come straight through from California.
Landed in Albuquerque to take on fuel.
How do you know this taking on fuel in Albuquerque?
'Cause it's a little red truck pulled up on the wing of the airplane, throwed the hose pipe in the gas tank, filled it up, and whoosh!
All right, now I'm telling you for the last time you would stop there.
Took off again.
I guess you come straight through from there.
Landed in Dallas for more fuel.
How do you know this taking on fuel in Dallas?
'Cause that little red truck pulled up on the wing of the airplane, throwed the hose pipe in the gas tank, filled it up, and
That's what I thought.
whoosh! All right. Took off again.
Come straight on in here, I guess.
Landed in Little Rock for more fuel.
Little Rock?
Little Rock had to take on more fuel.
How do you know this taking on fuel in Little Rock?
'Cause the little red truck pulled up on the wing of the airplane, throwed the hose pipe in the gas tank, and whoosh, took off again.
Come right on in here.
Landed up here in Atlanta.
Yeah?
Caught the bus on over here, and I looked back, and there's fueling up the airplane again. And I told the bus
How
driver,
do you know there's fuel in the plane up here in Atlanta?
how do I know there's fueling a plane up in Atlanta?
Yeah.
'Cause that little red truck pulled up on the wing of the airplane, throwed the hose pipe in the gas tank, filled it up, and I come on down here to Macon.
Well, I'll say one thing. That jet was really moving on.
Huh?
I say that jet was really moving on.
Yeah, that little red truck wasn't doing bad neither.
All right, smart aleck. Jake, I thought you was afraid to ride airplanes.
I always was scared to death by one of them airplanes, George.
That's what I thought.
I figured out a way around that, though.
What'd you do?
I put my hand up over my eyes till I boarded the plane.
Well, now that's a good idea.
Yeah, I got in there and I sat down. I sat there a while, and finally I got up enough nerve to take my hands down from my eyes.
Yeah.
I looked out the window and I turned around to the stewardess and I said, "Stewardess, look down at them people. They look like ain'ts."
Yeah.
She said, "Them are ain'ts. We hadn't left the ground yet." But you know, Josh, a funny thing happened on that airplane.
What's that?
We had much more. You know, there's a newly married couple come in and sit down right across the aisle from me.
How you know there's a newly married couple?
'Cause it's all loved up.
All right, all right.
We had much more got up in the air, Les, in office argument that you ever heard in your life.
Argument?
Argue. I heard her say, "Just as soon as this airplane reaches the ground, I'm leaving you."
No kidding.
Yeah, and I jumped up. I said, "Hold it, wait just a minute. I never did like to see these newly married couples argue. What seems to be the trouble? Maybe we can straighten it out." She said, "Well, he's a smoking an old stinking cigar, and he knows I never could stand cigars." And he said, "Well, she's a carrying a little old dog, and she knows I never could stand dogs." I said, "Well, now, that's nothing to get mad over." I said, "Just raise up the window over there." And I told her, I said, "You throw your little dog out the window." And I told him, I said, "You throw your cigar out the window, and everything will be all right." Sure enough, they raised up the window, and she threw her little dog out, and he threw his cigar out. It wasn't no time. They was all loved up again.
Well, good.
But after a while, I looked out the window of that airplane, and sitting out there on the wing of that airplane, there sat that little dog.
No kidding.
That little dog sitting out there on the wing of that airplane. And Josh, what do you think he had in his mouth?
Don't you tell me he had that cigar in his mouth that man threw out the window?
No, he had that big old red brick that I throwed up. That's what he had in his mouth.
All right, smart aleck. I told you. Never in my life. Jake, you ought to be ashamed up here carrying on like that. You don't even... What's the trouble?
Look at that green light up yonder, that TIX, see that light up over that door up yonder?
No, that's exit.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of?
No, what?
That and right over yonder.
All right, smart aleck, I told you. Jake, like I started to say, you don't look well. I'd be ashamed up here cutting up. You'd
I
liable to hurt
don't
yourself.
feel well either, Josh. I've been awful sick lately.
What seems to be your trouble?
I swallowed a rat.
You done what?
I did. I swallowed a rodent.
You kidding me?
I did. I went running down to the doctor, and I said, "Doctor, you got to do something for me right fast. I've swallowed a rat."
Oh.
Yeah, he said, "Now simmer down, Jake."
Yeah.
Doctor always calls me Jake.
Why does he call you Jake?
'Cause that's my name, silly. He said, "Simmer down, Jake, is only one thing you can do in a case like that." He said, "You go home and you lay down flat on the floor.
Flatten the floor.
And you get your big old hunk of cheese and you put it up on your chin.
Yeah?
And then you get your big old Thomas kitten and put him down on your stomach.
Tomcat on the stomach.
Then you open your mouth big and wide.
Yeah?
Said directly that there rat, he'll smell the cheese and you come out there and the cat will get it."
Did you try it?
Done exactly what he told me to. I went home and I laid down in the floor.
Down in the floor.
And I got me a hunk of cheese, put it up here on my chin.
Cheese on the chin.
Got me a Thomas kitten and I put him down here on my stomach.
Tomcat on the stomach.
I opened my mouth big and wide.
Yeah.
Sure enough, directly that the rat, he smelled him cheese.
Yeah.
The rat made a face at the cheese.
Yeah.
The cat made a face at the rat.
Yeah.
And I swallowed rat, cat, cheese, and all. I'm sick.
Jake, some of the folks want to hear you sing. Would you like that?
Yes.
Tell you what, I'm going to leave you out here by yourself. You're on your own. There's a microphone. Take it away. It's all
Well,
yours.
thank you very much. They won't stay out here.
No.
You said take it away. It was all mine.
I only meant use it for a little while.
Oh, is that
Let's
what
give
you
him a hand while you say one.
Thank you for that hand. I deserved it. I'd like to say that it's a real pleasure to be back down in good old Georgia. You know, I came down to, this is where I met my girlfriend, by the way, right here at this auditorium. I was standing back there fixing to get my ticket one night. And I looked over and there stood a pretty girl. And I cocked my right eye over at her and she cocked her right eye over at me. And I cocked my left eye over at her and she cocked her left eye over at me. And there we stood cock-eyed right back there in front of everybody. She's some gal, though. She's a bragging over the other night. She looked over there at me. She said, honey, said, you know, you look just like $1 million to me. I said, oh, come off of that. You ain't never seen $1 million. She said, yeah, that's what I mean. You look like something I ain't never seen before. But I am proud to be back down in good old Georgia. You know, I came over yesterday and spent a night with a friend of mine who lives up here in Atlanta. That's the braggingest one fellow you ever seen in your life. Brag, brag, brag. He thinks ain't no place in the world like the state of Georgia. You know, of course, I'm proud of Tennessee, and I'm always bragging on Tennessee. And we got in an argument up at his house. And he said, now come out. Got a guy from Alabama back there, sound like. He said, now come out here, Jake. I'm going to prove to you that things down here in Georgia is just a whole lot better than they are down there in Tennessee. He said, you take our crops, for instance. He reached over in a deep freeze and he got a cucumber about that long. He said, now this is one of our Georgia cucumbers. I said, huh? We can beat that in Tennessee. We grow cucumbers that long. He reached on over and he got a string bean about that long. He said, now this is one of our Georgia string beans. I said, huh?
As the clock was striking 4 and the smiling face of my darling I may never see anymore. Oh, I know what it means to be lonesome. I know what it means to be blue. Honey, I'd give all I own just to have you back home. I'm lonesome, lonesome for you.
Just a little bit of a song entitled I Know What It Means to Be Lonesome. We'd like to take a look at the Flatt and Scruggs brand new songbook. Tell you a little about it, tell you how you can get one for your very own in case you'd like to have it. We're real proud of it. We think it's a very nice little book. It's a little different than anything we've had before. Has 25 or 30 new pictures and the words to about that many songs. Now, it doesn't have the music, just the words. And it has the words to the one especially that you've been asking for, like Father's Table Grace, just to mention one. Now, in order to get one, all you have to do is send 50 cents along with a 5-cent stamp and address it to Flatt and Scruggs Songbook, Post Office Box 58, Nashville, Tennessee. Fellas?
Hay fever victims, this season when pollen fills the air, stop living behind a handkerchief. Now get quick-acting relief from hay fever distress from nasal congestion, sneezing, sniffling.
Popular lately called There's More Pretty Girls Than One. There's more pretty girls than one. There's more pretty girls than one.
always been a rambler, boy. That's my girl turned me down. There's more pretty girls than one. There's more pretty girls than one. Every time I ramble around, there's more pretty girls than one. I'll tell you what to do. Don't fall in love with a pretty little girl unless you know she's true. There's more pretty girls than one. There's more pretty girls than one. Every time I ramble around, there's more pretty girls than one. There's more pretty girls than one. Well, we hope you enjoyed that one to start us off with on the program this week. More pretty girls than one. We'd like to get Jim to sing about another pretty girl. This is one that he's been singing about for quite a few years, wearing a bluegrass skirt.
Well, it's harder now than rock and roll. It's harder things go up and roll. It's so my baby, my little baby. Yes, it's so my baby, bluegrass girl.
Well, thank you very much. We hope you enjoyed that one by Jim, one that we have received lots of requests to do for a long time on the show, Bluegrass Skirt. And we'll have some more music for all the boys in just a minute after this message from the Crestview Mobile Homes.
Take this hammer, carry it to the captain. Take this hammer, carry it to the captain. Just tell him I'm gone.
Tell him I'm gone.
Just tell him I'm gone.
Now if he asks you, was I running? If he asks you, was I running? If he asks you, was I running? Just tell him I'd fly.
Just tell him I'm flying.
Now take this hammer,
carry it to the captain. Take this hammer, carry it to the captain. Take this hammer, carry it to the captain. Just tell him I'm gone.
Tell him I'm gone.
Just tell him I'm gone.
I don't want your pull iron shackle. It hurts my leg.
Hurts my leg.
It hurts my leg. Now take this hammer, cat to the captain. Take this hammer, cat to the captain. Take this hammer, cat to the captain. Just tell him I'm gone.
Tell him I'm gone.
Just tell him I'm gone. Take this. Sure, you've sang in church a lot of times. This one's entitled Just Over in the Glory Land. I've a home prepared where the saints abide, just over in the glory land. And I long to be by my Savior's side, just over in the glory land. Just over in the glory land. I join, yes, join the happy angels band, just over in the glory land. Just over in the glory land. There with the mighty host I'll stand, just over in the glory land. I am on my way to this mansion fair, just over in the glory land. There to sing God's praise and His glory shine, just over in the glory land. Just over in the glory land. I join, yes, join the happy angels band, just over in the glory land. Just over in the glory land. There is the mighty host I'll stand, just over in the glory land. Just over in the glory land. We hope you enjoyed that one there.
Lester, I thought you might like a slice of our banana nut loaf.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I like anything that's made in the Martha White kitchen. Could the other fellows have
Oh,
something?
sure. It's as much fun to serve as it is to cook.
Thank you.
Oh, that's her girl. That's her girl, Joyce Dixon. Folks, she's the Martha White home that comes to Atlanta. While she passes that Martha White banana nut loaf around, let's get T. Tommy to tell you how you can get the recipe for it.
That recipe for Martha White banana nut loaf is in this leaflet called Golden Harvest. We want to send you a free copy of it. And all you have to do to get it is to send a postcard to Martha White, Box 58, Nashville, Tennessee. Send tonight so you can try Martha White banana nut loaf right away. It's extra fine when you smear some cream cheese on it. Now, right here's the main ingredient, Martha White. And don't you forget it. Martha White self-rising flour with Hot Rise Plus. Goodness gracious, it's good.
Now me and my wife and a bobtail dog started across the river on a hickory log. Well, the log turned over and I fell in. I lost my wife and a bottle of gin. You and me. Now me and my wife lived all alone in a little log hut we called her own. She liked coffee and I liked tea. We're so happy, just her and me. You turned over and I fell in. I lost my wife and a bottle of gin.
I tell you, fellas, I may not get to be with you too much longer because Harold wants me to work for a straight man with him now. He like, yeah.
Earl said, don't pick, just sing. I said I wish I wasn't.
Fellas, let's gang around. First, though, I guess we ought to tell the friends and neighbors about the Flat and Scruggs brand new songbook before we do our next sacred number. Neighbors, this book is a little different than anything we've ever had to offer. We believe that it's one you'll enjoy having in your home. It has 25 or 30 pictures, some that we haven't never had in the books for you before, and the words to about 25 or 30 songs like Father's Table Grace and Paul and Silas, Poor Rebel Soldier, just to mention a few. All you have to do to get one of these books is send 50 cents along with a 5-cent stamp. Now be sure and enclose your 5-cent stamp. 50 cents and a 5-cent stamp, and address it to Flat and Scruggs Songbook. Post Office Box 58, Nashville, Tennessee.
Precious memories, unseen angels, sent from somewhere to my soul. How they linger, ever near me, and the sacred past unfold. Precious memories, how they linger, how they ever flood my soul. In the stillness of the midnight, precious sacred scenes unfold. Precious Father, loving Mother, fly across the lonely road, and go home sing of my childhood. Precious memories, how they linger, how they ever flood my soul. In the stillness of the midnight, precious sacred scenes unfold.
Precious memories. We'd especially like to remember all of our shut-in neighbors with that one. Remember, we're always pulling for you. You know, every once in a while, we like to have breakfast for supper at our house. Let's go to the Martha White kitchen and see something that I'd like to dig into right now.
You can double that order, Les, because I've got to have one just like it. Eggs the way you like them. Scramble mine well, please. And Martha White sausage corn bake. Here's how to make that fine bread. Beat an egg and add milk and sausage fat. Then you stir in Martha White self-rising cornmeal mixed with hot rice, a spoon of sugar, and lightly browned sausage. Now be careful not to fill your muffin cups too full, else hot rise will make them rise plumb over the top when it feels the heat of your oven. The seasoning in the sausage gives your Martha White cornbread muffin an extra special flavor that makes your favorite eggs taste twice as good. Send for this recipe leaflet that tells you how to make them, ladies. Now, to get your free copy of Golden Harvest, send a postcard to Martha White, Box 58, Nashville, Tennessee. And remember to bake 'em right. Use Martha White self-rising cornmeal mix with hot rye. Goodness gracious, it's good.
For the finest cornbread you can bake, get Martha White self-rising meal. Hot rye self-rising meal. Martha White self-rising meal, for goodness sake.
There's rabbit in a log and I ain't got my dog. How will I get him? I know. I'll get me a briar and a twist in his hair. That's how I'll get him. I know. I know. I know. I know. I know. That's how I'll get him. I know. I'll get me a briar and a twist in his hair. That's how I'll get him. I know. I'm going down the track, coat up my back, soles on the shoes, nearly gone. Just a little ways ahead, there's Farmer's shed. That's where I'll rest Worry Bones. Worry Bones, Worry Bones, Worry Bones, Worry Bones. That's where I'll rest Worry Bones. Just a little ways ahead, there's Farmer's shed. That's where I'll rest Worry Bones. There's rabbit in a log and ain't got my dog. How will I get him? I know. I'll get me a briar and a twist in his hair. That's how I'll get him. I know. I know. I know. Yes, I know. Me too. That's how I'll get him. I know. I'll get me a briar and a twist in his hair. That's how I'll get him. I know.
Oh, that's how I'll get him, I know. Ah, that's real fun. Uncle Josh and Cousin Jake, their little thing called Feast here tonight. Earl, if you and Paul is ready over there, let's have a little picking on the five and the fiddle, huh? Is that it? Oh, it's fine, fellas. Thank you very much. Davis, that kind of winds it up. It's been real good visiting with you. Let us thank our good buddy Harold Morrison for being our special guest. Next week we'll be calling on you again at this same time. Be sure and join us then. Always remember what to ask for when you're down at the store.